it's been a while. I think it's been almost 2 weeks since I posted my sold video. You'll have to excuse me, there's something in my left eye. Probably a stray cat hair from Simon. Anyway, it's Saturday. I am not picking up anything at the auction. You know, my place that I really like has been kind of crappy lately, and I'm not sure why, but that's just the way it goes sometimes. And so I found some Fitz and Floyd and some, oh, what's the guy's name? I can't remember the name of the artist, but I found a few things from the auction house that I don't really care for because the lady that runs it is kind of a hag, and I'm being nice. So, but they did have some things that I'm interested in. So I'm bidding on those. That I don't know if I'm going to get them or not because I'm not willing to pay up for these things. You know what I mean? And I don't know what these people are doing in front of me, but they need to learn how to use their gas pedal. Anyway, so that auction is tomorrow on Sunday, and then I would pick that stuff up on Monday if I win any of it. Now again, and they charge a higher, they start the lots at $10 first of all, and then they charge a higher buyer's premium than the other auction houses that I go to or look for stuff at, you know. So I'm not crazy about them, and that's why I bid lower, because by the time you pay the buyer's fee and taxes and stuff, it ends up adding like $5 or $6 to a $10 item, or maybe it was 20, I can't, 15, I don't know. Anyway, it makes it a lot more expensive. So yes, I stopped again. Anyway, so I'm not picking up anything today. I'm going to the post office because I've got some stuff to drop off. I might poke around and see if there's any yard sales worth stopping at. It's kind of late though. It's just after 12 o'clock. So I don't know if anybody's still going to be doing them, but I'll head out towards Sun City and see if there's any still going, you know, and just take a look and see what's there. The move that I mentioned to Kentucky, and I said the wrong state when I talked about it last time. There's a few reasons that I'm waiting until October, November to move. And it's so, first of all, and I know a lot of you said just leave everything and go, you know. Well, I can't do that, you know. With my income the way it is, as low as it is, once I'm somewhere else and I'm paying rent now. I could not afford to replace anything right now if I needed to, and I won't be able to once I get to Kentucky. Now, if I can ramp up my eBay, that might help a little bit, you know, but again, I have to be careful how much I earn until I turn 65, because until I turn 65, my Social Security is affected if I earn too much money. So I have to be very careful. What I was thinking about, and I'm wondering, if I were to record video for part of the trip, and if I were to, say, stop at a couple of thrift stores along the way, could I write any part of my move off on my taxes? I need to find out. I'm not monetized on YouTube yet, so I don't know if, you know, recording the videos would make a difference. You know, like if I recorded a little bit in each state just to kind of document the trip, and, you know, when I stop to get gas in different places, I could look to see if there's a thrift store anywhere and just pop in and pick up an item, just something small, you know, whatever. I don't know, because this U-Haul situation is going to be very expensive. I would prefer to rent a truck and tow my car, because this car is old. This car has over 100,000 miles on it. I would have to take the smallest trailer they have, which means I don't even know. I think I could fit my queen size mattress in it, but then I'm not going to have room for very much else. So, then when I get to Kentucky, I don't need furniture when I'm living at my friend's house, but I'm going to be, once I'm considered a resident of Kentucky after 6 months, I'm going to be putting my name on all kinds of places on waiting lists for, senior rent controlled, whatever you want to call it, apartment, where they base it on your income. So anyway, I'm gonna need stuff like all my kitchen stuff and my bathroom stuff and just random crap that you don't think about until you're in an apartment and you need your crap, to cook or whatever, and for the bathroom, and I'm not gonna have the money to go out and replace that stuff. So I'd like to hang on to my crap if I can, So if I rent a truck and tow my car, it won't put any mileage, I won't be destroying my car for the trip, I don't want to get there and then have my car fall apart worse than it already is. And that's the other thing. If I'm in a U-Haul towing my car and for some reason the U-Haul truck breaks down, they have to rescue me, I'm not left out in the middle of nowhere having to try and get a hold of AAA and get my car fixed if something were to go wrong with my car. Because my mechanic can go over the whole thing and can check all the belts and hoses and stuff, and he can give it a stamp of approval, but that doesn't mean something won't go wrong. You never can tell with vehicles, even brand new cars. Shit can happen, so but if U-Haul's in charge of the vehicle that I'm driving, then if something happens to it, they have to fix it. They have to give me a new one. They have to do the things, so it's like renting. I don't know if I had the money, I would, like if I was rolling in dough, if I won the lottery, I'd buy a house. But I've never been a person that wanted to buy a house. I never wanted to own a house because of all the things that go along with owning a house. And you can say, well, it's security and blah, blah, blah. No, not really. Because if a bunch of shit breaks, even if you buy a brand new house, I've seen videos of people who bought brand new homes and the shit's falling apart, the builders suck or whatever, and then they're fighting with them to try and get things taken care of. And I know, and if it's an older home like my mother's house, there's so much stuff wrong with it. The plumbing is going to have to be redone through. If somebody buys this house, I feel sorry for them, but they're going to have to tear up all the floors in the kitchen and the bathrooms and get all the plumbing redone. It's just, and that's not all. I mean, that's the big thing, but whoever, if someone buys that house, they're going to be in for a lot of work to fix it. I mean, it was a nice house when my parents bought it, but that old plumbing stuff is just, all the neighbors from the same, the houses were all built in the same time period. Everybody's having plumbing issues now, So I never wanted to own a house. I had a couple of friends that bought houses, and I watched what they went through. One of my friends, her refrigerator and her air conditioning unit took a shit at the same time. And she was losing her mind over it. Of course, she had issues dealing with stressful situations as it is. So that just made it like 100 times worse for her, But I was like, no, thank you. I'd rather rent. I don't care if I'm wasting my money. If I can afford to rent, if there's apartments available, I'd rather rent, because if something breaks, the landlord has to fix it, And if it's something important like the air conditioning, and it's in the summertime in Phoenix, they have 48 hours from the time you notify them and it has to be fixed within 48 hours or they get in huge trouble, you know. And I know this because I worked for realtors and I know all the crap that goes along with rentals. So I would just rather rent. Somebody else is responsible for anything breaks, falls apart, whatever. They have to replace it, you know. And as long as you don't live in a slumlord complex, things may take a little bit of time to get fixed, but they get fixed, you know. Anyway, and especially if you know the law and you know what your rights are, and you read your rental agreement too, you know. You don't just sign a lease without reading all the fine print, because sometimes, I had a friend that went through this. She rented a place, and any maintenance that was over a certain amount or under a certain amount, I don't know, she was responsible for. Like if it was under $100, she had to take care of it. You know, like if the plumber had to come out and it was under $100, she had to pay for it. If it went over that, then the landlord had to step in and do something. I can't remember what the break was, you know, in there, but I was like, no thank you, because if that house, and it was a little house, you know, it was a small house. It was like a 2-bedroom little kind of a place. It was cute, you know, and she lived there for quite a few years, but they were jacking the rent up, and the guy finally sold it. So she's the friend that's in Florida now. I'll be closer to her when I move to Kentucky. So the Kentucky thing looks like it's going to happen. I mean, unless a miracle happens and an apartment opens up here that is, you know, is based on the rent that I've got my name on the list for, I would stay here if I found a place, because my doctors are here. I'm established here. I won't lose my medical benefits for 6 months. You know, I moved to Kentucky. I'm not a resident. I can't apply for anything there. So I will be without things for 6 months. Any kind of, you know, assistance for anything. So it's going to be, the first 6 months are going to be a little bit rough. The medical part is really my biggest concern, you know. I don't know. We'll see what happens. But I'm just kind of, I was thinking about it and I'm like, okay, I know I can't write off my move, but would any of the vehicle be covered, or could I write off any of that? It's going to be $3,000 just for the truck rental and the trailer to tow my car. And it's not one of those flat trailers that you put your car up, the whole car is sitting on the trailer. It's one of those things where the back tires are on the ground and the front tires are up on the thing. If I wanted to get one of those flat trailers, it's even more expensive. It's like another, I think it was another $500, some ridiculous amount. So, you know, but it's almost, it's like a hair away from $3,000, and that's before tax. And I know they're going to put tax on there, so I'm probably looking at $3,200. I don't even know, just to rent the truck and the trailer. Then I have to put gas in the thing the whole way to Kentucky, and I'm almost moving all the way across the country. You know, if you look at a map, I'm not that far from California. And this person needs to get in their own lane. I'm not that far from California, and Kentucky's not that far from the East Coast. So, you know, it's pretty much going to be me by myself with my cat for a good solid 3 days. And I just, you know, the cost is just insane. I need to figure out, and I found a website. I'll put it up here whenever I post this video, because I was like, okay, I don't want to be driving through mountainous terrain if I don't have to, you know, with this trailer and the truck and the whole thing. Whether I'm driving my car and towing a trailer, or I'm driving this U-Haul and towing my car, I want to try to find as much flat earth as possible, you know. And there's a website, I can't remember it right now off the top of my head, but you put where you are, where you want to go, zip code that you want to go from, and the one you want to go to, and it will find you the flattest route. So, like, to avoid mountains and curvy roads and all that kind of stuff, you know. And that will also help with gas mileage. You know, the less I'm climbing and, you know, doing all of that, the better gas mileage I'm going to get. So I really wish they had stick rentals still. Because back in the day, if you rented a U-Haul, you didn't have to get an automatic. You could rent a 5-speed or a 4-speed or whatever it was. I don't remember. But if they still had where you could buy manual, or not buy, rent a manual transmission U-Haul, I would totally do that because they get better gas mileage. And you have a little more control over things if you have to climb a little bit, or, you know, it's just a little bit easier if you have a manual transmission. And you're not relying on the car to decide when it needs to shift. I love driving my manual, and I hate automatics now. I can't stand them. And it's not that easy to find them now. And the newer cars, I guess they're not really making manuals that much. And it's like, well, you know, whenever I do need another car, that's what I'm going to be looking for. I hate automatics. Anyway, I am at the post office, so I'm going to stop this for now. And I might be back, or I might be back after I look for some yard sales. I don't know. Okay. Anyway, I think back to what I was talking about. I need to find out what the gas mileage is on those U-Haul trucks, or at least the size that I'm going to have to rent. I'm going to get whatever the smallest truck is that will tow my car, you know. And I'll have to work with that as far as space goes. It should be a decent size, like big enough to haul my crap, you know. So I'm not sure what I'm going to do with my eBay inventory, if I'm going to try to get rid of all of it before I leave, or if I'm just going to pick through and things that are, you know, worth hanging on to sell. Maybe I'll you know, just pack those things like with my the rest of my stuff. I have not decided. I need to go to the gas station. I've been putting it off. I don't like going because now that my gas gauge doesn't work, I have to just guess, and I'm tracking my mileage. When I get close to 200 miles, I know I still have over a quarter of a tank left, but I don't like to let my gas tank get any lower than that anyway. So, but I have to go into the stupid gas station because if you use your debit card at a gas pump, they put like a $150 hold on your gas card or on your debit card. I don't understand that at all. Like, why after you've finished pumping, it's not like you're gonna put more gas in your car. It needs to cut off there. Anyway, if I go in and use my debit card and tell them I want to put 30 on pump whatever, then they don't put that hold on your card. So I don't know. Anyway, as far as the U-Haul goes, and that's another thing, renting the U-Haul. I don't have credit cards anymore. After my rent went up at my mother's house, I still haven't filed bankruptcy, but I know I need to, because now they're starting to send me emails saying that they're going to do charge-offs, you know, which I knew was coming. But then they're going to start calling me, you know. The collection agencies will start calling. They cannot seize my Social Security, so I know that much. But it would just be better if I filed bankruptcy and get it over with, and that's going to cost me money that I don't want to spend on filing bankruptcy, because I need to be saving for this move and making money for the move, you know. And they have so many construction zones right now in Phoenix. I can't figure out why they've ramped up. Anyway, it's bad, all the construction. This used to happen in Illinois. when I lived there for a few years, it was nonstop construction because during the winter they couldn't do it. So anytime there wasn't rain or snow, the roads were just nothing but construction everywhere. And for some reason that seems to be happening here. And it's not like they can't do the construction during the winter here because we don't get the weather. Anyway, back to the whole U-Haul debacle. With no credit card and the truck costing, although, I don't know, they put a hold on whatever you give them. I don't know what the dollar amount is. I'm going to have to look into all of this to see how much of a hold they put on your account, because I don't know. I don't know. I have no idea. At least I have time to try and get stuff figured out, you know? So, one of my friends on Facebook, who I've known for a very long time, has offered to start a GoFundMe for me so that I can move. And I appreciate that, but I told her I would like to wait, you know, and see if I absolutely have to do that. I don't see people donating so that an old lady can move across the country because her mother's crazy. You know what I mean? I don't think that that's going to happen. So I think it's, you know, a futile effort. And then GoFundMe takes a percentage, I think. You know, I don't know. I don't think I'm going to be able to save up $4,000 between now and October or the early part of November. And I'm assuming that's the minimum, because the rental with tax and everything's probably going to be around $3,200. I'm just pulling numbers out of my butt right now. Okay, where was I going? Oh, gas station. I'm like, where am I going? Why am I driving this way? Because I need to go to yard sales, but I want to put gas in the car first. Anyway, you know, it's going to be, I'm guessing, right around $3,200 just for the rental. Not gas, no hotels. I'm gonna have to stay in a hotel at least one night to try and get some sleep. You know, other times I'll have Simon with me, and he's gonna have to stay in a cat carrier in the front seat of the U-Haul with me. You know, so he'll be trapped. He's gonna have to get out to go to the bathroom. I'll have to have a litter box in the cab of the truck so that he can, you know, go potty and stuff. And there's an estate sale. Okay, I'm gonna put gas in my car, and then I'm gonna stop at that to see what it is. Maybe I'll go in and get, if they have an ATM at this gas station, I'll pull some money out. Anyway, my brain will not shut off about this whole move thing and all the logistics of everything. This is what my brain does, though, because I've always been a planner and an organizer. Now, to look at my living space, you would never know that about me. But in all of my jobs, everybody that I've worked for has been harebrained like me, but I can keep their stuff organized. I'm very good at helping people organize. I had realtors that I didn't work for have me come in and set up their operation so that the workflow made sense, and so that the office layout made sense. And, you know, and I did it for my boss that I worked for. You know, I just at home forget it. It's like the mechanic whose car is always broken down, or, you know, that kind of stuff. I'm good with other people's stuff, not so much with my own, you know. It's just one of those things. Anyway, I am at the gas station, so I know it's going to be right around $4,000 at least. I got to see how much the gas is going to be. That's really going to be the thing that's going to kill me, I think, or that's going to put the biggest dent in my budget, is going to be the rental and the gas. So Anyway, I'm going to stop this. I'm going to get my gas. I'm going to see if there's an ATM in here so I can get some money. I'm going to stop at this estate sale and see if I find anything. I'm not chomping at the bit for stuff. Real quick, my mother has gone on a dumping rampage, and she's got 2 bedrooms in the house that were full of stuff to decorate your yard with for the different holidays. And she had the city bring one of those big dumpster things that you see in people's driveways when they're clearing out their house or when they're gutting a house or whatever. She filled it. She filled it, and she's talking about getting a second one. Now, a lot of the stuff that she threw away was perfectly good stuff that I could have sold, you know, if she would let me have a yard sale. Well, she won't. She won't let me have a yard sale. I would have had to rent a truck and take it all to the swap meet to try and sell it, and she wasn't waiting for that. She just got a hair up her ass and decided she wanted to get rid of all this stuff. And you know, and I managed to talk her into letting me list anything that's still in a box. If it still has the box and it's lightly used, or if it's brand new, there's a lot of that. I'm measuring the boxes, I'm listing the items, and I'm selling the stuff at like half of what it would normally go for, because I cannot watch the stuff all get thrown in a dumpster. It's making me crazy, you know. And I'm hoping, one item already sold last night, and I didn't even have it listed for 6 hours. So, you know, the stuff will sell. I just hope it sells soon, because if it takes too long, she's going to get ants in her pants and rent another dumpster, because she wants all the stuff out of the bedrooms. And I'm like, oh my God, because there's so much stuff. I can't even describe how much stuff there is. And totes. She's probably got 20 of those large Rubbermaid totes full of decorating stuff for out in the yard. It's all yard decorating stuff for the different holidays, mostly Christmas, but she's also got Easter, Thanksgiving, St. Patrick's Day, Valentine's. I mean, you name it, it's out there. You know, I mean, she used to decorate the yard. So some of it's faded from the sun. I'm not gonna do anything with that stuff, but man, if she would let me have a yard sale, all that stuff would go. I mean, she would probably sell almost everything. She doesn't want strangers at the house. And it's like, what is wrong with you? It's not like they're gonna come in the house. She's so mental. Anyway, all right, I gotta get gas. I gotta see if there's an ATM, and I'll come back if I find anything at the estate sale. Okay. I gotta turn my music off. Okay, I guess it turned off on its own. I bumped the cord. My MP3 player is not working unless it's plugged into the power. So it's not holding the charge. I'm gonna have to buy a new one. It's one of these. It's a little bitty thing, but holds a lot of music for me. I can't figure out what's wrong with it. It's just not holding a charge anymore, so I guess that's the end of that. Anyway, I don't know. I bought it on eBay, so, and it did last, I think, for about a year, and it wasn't very expensive, so I'll probably just buy another one of the same thing if they still have them, you know, because it worked okay. Anyway, I went to like 3 different places for estate sale, yard sale type situations, and it was slim pickings. And I don't think it was just because it was late in the day. I think it was just the kind of stuff that they had that they were selling, and everybody wants more for their stuff than it's really worth. So I did pick up a couple things, probably stupid, but I got this Homer Simpson. Okay, I'm going to talk over this part of the video. I picked up this Homer Simpson ornament, not realizing it had a broken cat on the bottom. Part of, I don't know, part of it was on his foot, but then the head was inside the box. So that was broken, but I only paid $2 for it, so no big deal. The other thing I got, and I did not know what this was when I bought it, I paid $3 for it. It's a ceramic elephant, and I did not know what it was. It didn't have a maker name on the bottom that I could see. There was a sticker on the bottom that said it was made in China. And come to find out when I got home, this is actually a mug made by Disney, and it had something to do with the Tiki Room or Jungle Cruise is what it was kind of based on or whatever. These things sell for around anywhere from, I don't know, $60, $80. And anyway, it already sold. I had it listed. I put it on sale. I think I sold it for $60. I'm not sure, but it sold in less than 12 hours. Someone sent me an offer that was really low, and from the time that they sent me the offer until I woke up, someone else bought it. So I ended up selling it for less than I should have probably, but I totally made my money back, and I only paid $3 for it. So I'm just yakking away here on the video. And then there was only one more thing that I picked up, and it was these two bunnies. They are not worth anything. I listed them, but I'm going to be lucky if I make my money back on them. I think I paid $5 for them. So, you know, if I don't make my money back, it's not a big deal because I sold that elephant for such a huge amount of profit that, you know, I spent a total of $10 at the yard sale, and I sold the elephant for $60, so somewhere around $60. Anyway, that is it as far as that part of the video goes. That is my whopping stuff that I got at the yard sales. 3 things, that's it. And I probably shouldn't have even picked those up, but I don't know. I think the elephant will do okay. I've got an elephant listed right now that's got a Capodimonte. I can't say the word. I need to look up how to pronounce it properly. It's got the flowers that are porcelain on top of it. It's like he's got a basket of flowers on his back, and it's a really nice elephant. And the artist does well as far as sales go, but nobody else had this elephant listed. I couldn't find another one anywhere, and so I wasn't quite sure how to price him, and I didn't pay a lot for it, so I can go down on the price if I need to, but it hasn't even really been looked at very much. So I don't know if I just don't have it listed right, and maybe I need to change the title, some of the words, move them around a little bit. Sometimes that helps. So that's something else. If you have listings that are just sitting and nothing's happening with them, change the words around in your title, because sometimes that makes a difference. You know, move the words to the front that are more important, even if it doesn't make sense. I have sold things where I've moved the words around so much that if you read it, it doesn't make sense as like a sentence description of the item. Do you know what I mean? I'll just put the words in the order of importance of how to describe the item, and then it will sell. So, you know, you have to figure out the words that somebody might search that thing, that particular thing, and just use the words, whether it makes sense or not, as a description, you know? It's a little toasty today. I don't know what the temperature is. I don't know if my car is going to say. My car says it's 86. I think or 85. I think my car is a big fat liar. I don't think my thermometer thing is adjusting. Anyway. Oh, something else I was going to talk about, and I was going to talk about it in my next Solds video, which will be in the next couple days, because we're almost at 2 weeks since I did the last one. For the dates that I have to pull anyway. I think it's been close to 2 weeks, and that's what I'm trying to stick with, because the last video was for a whole month of sales, and that was a little much. So I'm going to try to do one every 2 weeks. I was trying to do them more often than that, but I don't know. It depends on my mood, really. You guys get videos if I'm in a decent mood, and if I'm not, then you see nothing. So as it gets hotter, I'm going to be more mopey and depressed, because I can't I mean, I can leave the house, but I die when I do. You know, I have to park out in the sun now because my car had a little tiny leak in the driveway, and it wasn't even an oil color. It was like a clear spot that it left on the driveway. I don't even know how she saw it because her eyes are bad. And she saw it though. She managed to see it. Your car's leaking in the driveway. Excuse me. How did you even see that? Anyway, so I have to park on the street, and the one tree that's out front is dead. So the branches do put some shade on my car, but I have to get out to the car by a certain point in the day. Otherwise, the front end of my car is in the sun. And once the engine area gets heated from the sun, because my car is black, it takes forever for the air to get cold. And when it's 115 outside, I'm not chomping at the bit to get in the car, you know, when it's that hot. And my hood thing, the liner, the hood liner, holds the heat. Like, it's insane how much it holds the heat. If I was cold and the sun was out, I'd be fine because it holds heat from the sun. So I don't know. If I could put solar panels on my car to run my air conditioner, I'd be set, because it sure bakes. Anyway, yeah, as it gets hotter, I'm probably not going to be a very happy camper, because then it makes it miserable to leave the house. If I could leave earlier in the morning, it would be better, but I can't, you know, until she either gets the chickens out of the laundry room, the babies, and I think she said it's going to be the middle of, probably towards the end of the month, before she's going to move them out to the little barn with the bigger chickens. And then I can go out through the laundry room and go out through the garage screen door when I need to leave the house. But right now, I can't go out through the front door ever. And I can't go out through the back door unless it's after like 11:30 in the morning, because then she's fed the colony cats and they all leave after they eat, and then I won't disturb them while they're eating. I can't wait to move. I can't wait to move. You know, it's one thing to have rules, you know, but it's another thing to have crazy, weird mental case rules at the house that you live in, where it just, you know, critters are overtake the whole thing. She would have those chickens, the bigger chickens, in the house, and I'm betting after I move, those chickens will be in the house, pooping everywhere. It would not surprise me at all if she brought the chickens in the house. I don't know. I'm just really looking forward to moving. She, like I said earlier, she's been on a cleaning out the bedrooms kick, and it's like somebody lit her ass on fire. I did tell her about my plans to move, and so she's suddenly now doing all of this stuff to clear out the house, because her reasoning is that, you know, I won't be there to do it, and my brother would have to do it. I'm sorry, you weren't going to do any of this if I was still going to be living in Phoenix, so that I would be stuck having to get rid of all this crap after you die. But since I'm not going to be here, probably, you know, unless an apartment opens up and they call me, but since I'm not going to be here and my brother might actually have to do something, she's worried about it. Now she's getting rid of everything. It's like, what the fuck? You know? And I'm the only kid. She's got 2 kids. I'm the only one that follows through and does what they say they're going to do. My brother never does what he says he's going to do. Ever. You know, oh yeah, I'll come over and fix your shower. Well, let's see, it's been 2 years now that she hasn't had a shower, and he has not shown up. We both have a birthday in June. He's turning 60 this year. I'm turning 64. I have one more year until I can make as much money as I want to, and they won't take any of my Social Security. It won't mess me up, you know. So in a year, I will be able to ramp up my eBay stuff, you know, and do more and make more money and all that good stuff. So hopefully, this is the other thing that's kind of scary for me about moving to Kentucky. I have no idea what kind of stuff I'm going to be able to sell, because they're going to have completely different stuff than I find here in Arizona. I looked at the auctions that are sort of near the zip code where I'm going to be living, and they aren't great, and they're overpriced. So I think the auctions aren't going to be an option for me. I'm going to have to find thrift stores and, you know, hope that there's some yard sales and estate sales and stuff, because the auctions are not going to be a place for me to get stuff, you know, unless I want to drive further. But I am going to be close to Cincinnati, so like close enough that I could drive to thrift stores there too. I won't have to stay in Kentucky, so that might help. I don't know. I'll figure it out when I get there, but I'm a little afraid. I'm nervous about moving so far away. Like when I've lived in California, because there's been a couple brief periods where I've lived in California. Once when I was married the first time, and he was in the Marine Corps, so we lived in Oceanside and by the base, and you know, but it was still close to Arizona, and I know my way around Arizona, like going up north and going down to Tucson if I wanted to, and that kind of stuff. You know, I know my way around, and going back to Kentucky, I know nothing. You know, and it's not like I'm a spring chicken where learning things at my age is going to be easy. All right, I'm going to shut this off. I have talked enough. A lot of it's been nonsense, so I don't want to have to do a bunch of editing. Anyway, I will have a Solds video very soon, so I hope you guys have a great rest of your weekend, and I will see you soon, hopefully. Bye.